There's no doubt that Ryan Coogler is one of the best filmmakers of his time, but we might see his best work yet in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. We've been hearing great things about the film, and everybody's beyond excited to watch it. And in a recent interview with Collider, the critically acclaimed director talked about any deleted scenes in the movie and what's next for him. So without further ado, let's dive in. First, what's next for him? Ryan has yet to make a movie that has been received poorly. He's got a knack for making hits, and it doesn't look like he's gonna stop anytime soon. He expressed that he loves making movies, and it fills him with a sense of joy that he hopes every human can find in their life. It doesn't matter if he works on big projects or smaller personal ones. What matters is that he can maintain that joy and make more things of various sizes. Right now though, he's just focused on Creed 3, cause there's still a lot of time before it comes out to the world. Once that's done, he'll sit down and think about what's next. Now, we don't know about you, but we cannot wait to see what he's going to work on. The man is a creative genius, and that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. Sure, if he makes a smaller, character-driven drama, it won't do numbers like Black Panther, but there's still an audience for films like that.
And you know, it's a part of life. You know, things change as time goes on. But being here is extremely surreal because it feels familiar, but at the same time, like we're in a whole new place.
Next up, Coogler on what makes a good villain. When the director was asked about the secret of creating a good villain, he said that he preferred the word antagonist. Ryan shared that he thought of them as characters who came in conflict with his protagonist. They wanted the same things essentially, but because of who they were and what shaped them, they wanted to get those things in very different ways and means. He revealed that Terminator 2 was a big inspiration for this movie. Both T-1000 and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character want John Connor, but the antagonist wanted to kill him while our hero wanted to protect him. The 36-year-old added that he tried to spend more and more time with his antagonist to understand where they're coming from. Hey, no wonder people liked Killmonger so much in the first installment. It's really incredible how much thought Ryan puts into every single thing. He also mentioned Namor and said that the character was very cool in the comics because despite his arrogance, you know that he had the capability of doing what he was saying. They wanted to bring a similar kind of swagger to his cinematic version while giving it a detail that you would recognize in a Black Panther film. Coming up, the importance of editing. The esteemed director said that they learned a lot during test screenings. The movie was big and had a lot of moving parts, so they were actively looking for what to cut. The editors gave them insight in terms of that and what things could potentially be removed. They show the earlier versions of the movie with limited music because according to Ryan, music has the ability to make things that are longer feel shorter, and they didn't want to hide anything in those versions at all. So all in all, it was very helpful in terms of making the film more concise. Finally, the deleted scenes. Watching deleted scenes of movies can actually be quite interesting, as you see what the director originally had in mind. Occasionally, some very impactful and hard-hitting scenes have to be cut due to studio requirements, and it's always great to go back and watch them. Ryan revealed that there are a bunch of deleted scenes from Wakanda Forever, and when the film comes out on home video, we'll get to see them. While he didn't give us a number on how many we'll get to see, there were a lot. He expressed that he loved basically everything they shot, and that the challenge with any creative medium was always the editing process. Honestly, we cannot wait to see what the filmmaker has cooked up for us this time around. Now, let's talk about the 5 films that changed Ryan Coogler's life. First up, A Prophet. It's very unlikely you would make a good filmmaker if you didn't have the best taste in films. So naturally, Coogler's got exceptional movies as his top favorites. The film explores the draining life of a young 19-year-old Algerian man sent to a French prison, except that he gets involved in organized crime. A Prophet is a brutal, messed up coming-of-age movie that shows the rise of Tahar Rahim's Malik. From an invisible prisoner to one of the strongest men there, Jacques Audiard created a masterpiece with this one as it was a long, involved, and gripping film. You won't be able to look away for even a second. Ryan shared that this was a movie that he went back to the most. He revealed that he watched it on his first trip out of the country, so it was a big deal to him. Up next, Boys in the Hood. This 1991 release was a cultural milestone that established John Singleton as a big-time Hollywood success and pushed Cuba Gooding Jr. further into stardom, almost exactly like Coogler and Michael B. Jordan after Fruitvale Station. Boys in the Hood followed the lives of 3 young men living in the Crenshaw ghetto of Los Angeles, and the film looked into how race and violence played a role in their lives. Lawrence Fishburne delivers an infamous gentrification speech in the film that could easily be part of something that comes out today. It was way ahead of its time. It's a super fun watch, despite the serious topics it explores, but it's also equally shocking. We can't give you Ryan's thoughts without spoilers, so here's a fair warning. But hey, the film came out 30 years ago. The esteemed director said that he was simply inconsolable when Ricky died, and this wasn't just a movie to him.
I was trying to do that and with certain single images express themes that are in a story. And those are just things that I came up with, on a natural order of a desperation to wanting to make a good film.
He was seeing black people on a 100-foot screen. It left him completely devastated, but it was one of those films that change you entirely. Following this, Do the Right Thing. Speaking of representation in movies, very few people have done more for black people in films than the legendary Spike Lee. He's possibly the most influential black filmmaker in cinematic history. Lee has dedicated his craft to telling stories that majorly tackle issues of civil rights and social justice, and he's been doing it for decades. But most people believe that Do the Right Thing is his best work. It shines a light on the hatred and bigotry that comes to the surface during the hottest day of the year on the street in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. One of the film's greatest achievements was its energy and how well it was shot, something that captured Coogler's heart as well.
White Air Jordans I just bought, and that's all you can say is, excuse me?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'll fuck you up quick 2 times. 2 times? Who told you to step on my sneakers? Who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to be in my neighborhood?
I own this brownstone.
Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block, in my neighborhood, on my side of the street?
He commented that the way Spike made Brooklyn look and feel in this work felt like home to him, even though he had never been to New York. But seeing it as a kid, he thought that he needed to go to that place because it just felt so alive. This had a clear impact on his career as a filmmaker, as he stated that whenever he makes a movie, he wants it to feel as real as Do the Right Thing. He wanted to make films that felt like home, not to mention Fish Tank. We've all seen art that makes us understand the world around us better, right? Something that makes you more open-minded and honest, or just adds to your general knowledge. For Coogler, it was Andrea Arnold's Palme d'Or nominee, Fish Tank. It helped him understand the female experience in life. Fish Tank is a rich character study of a 15-year-old girl, Mia, whose life is complicated when her mother's new boyfriend enters her life. It's easily one of the best films of the 21st century, and Ryan fully appreciated that. He expressed that Fish Tank was one of the first movies he ever watched that made him feel like he understood women more after it. He said it was one of those films like Love and Basketball or Daughters of the Dust, which screamed why the world needed women filmmakers. Last but never least, Malcolm X. We've got another Spike Lee film, folks. None of this is surprising considering Coogler's own interest in the civil rights movement, and Lee's biographical film highlighting the work of the influential black nationalist leader is a classic. It tells the story of his uprising from a small-time gangster to his time as a member of the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X's life was truly inspiring for a young Ryan. He recalled that he watched the film sitting on his dad's lap, as he was too small to see over the seat, but that didn't stop it from changing his life. He said he was inconsolable when the titular character was killed, and Malcolm X was really big for him as he had never seen a black man that powerful. He shared that this was more than a film for him, and it makes perfect sense. As you can tell, it inspired him to make such strong movies of his own. And that's a wrap for this video. What's your favorite Ryan Coogler movie? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.